What is narcissistic abuse? Well, essentially, it's where one person weaponizes another person's capacity to love against them. But why on earth would someone want to do that? Well, basically, if you can imagine a person who, in place of trust or the capacity to trust, they have exchanged that for the need to have power and control over someone. They'd have to be very, very insecure, of course. And they are. These people are known as narcissists. But you know, why did that happen? Why is trust something that's so difficult for them? Well, it goes deep into the way that their psyche was formed. The personality structure of the person itself. And it's actually a horrific tale. What could be more horrific than neonatal abuse? Abuse of a baby. Now, we're talking severe neglect. We're also probably talking the baby being shouted at, told to shut up, stop crying. Everything about their parenting at that very early age, terrifying or bereft of love and connection. Imagine, if you will, the capacity to actually feel emotion driven out of the baby. This meaning that in adulthood, there is the inability to actually create internal bonds between self and other, and therefore have meaningful relationships with other people and themselves. It is pretty bloody awful. Of course, you might be thinking, therefore, what on earth would these kinds of people actually want to have to do with other people? Maybe they wouldn't want to have anything to do with them at all. But no, that's really quite wrong. They actually need people. It's very strange. Of course, you'll be thinking, well, what do they actually need people for? Well, you're not going to be able to guess it unless, sadly, you've been through this kind of abuse and had to research it. They need other people in order to support their sense of self. That's right. Basically, their identity. They don't really have an identity. They construct one cognitively because there's no feeling there. I mean, if there's no feeling in someone's body when they have emotions, over time, then there's no identity. There are no feelings or preferences to actually track. So there cannot be a personality. So they need other people to confirm for them that strange ideas that they have about themselves are actually real. But of course, they're constructing them themselves. So, in essence, their ideas about their identity are actually fantasy in essence. It's all very sad, but that's why they need people. But you know, that's not the end of it, and that's the sad bit. It's not just identity. They have particular ideas about who they are, and these ideas are incredibly outlandish. Believe it or not, our feelings help us to error correct when we come up with ideas about who we might be in the future or what we're capable of. But because they can't feel, their ideas aren't actually moored to these error correcting mechanisms. And so they are freewheeling around their psyche, and they are what we call grandiose. They are grandiose fantasies. These people are incredibly unrealistic. And yet, despite that, they need people to agree that they are the people or the person that they're coming up with in their head. It's ridiculous. So basically, they need people to confirm these ideas they have about themselves. And they need someone at home, really, to help them, along with other people that are around them in the world, at work or wherever else. And just because they don't feel, don't think for a second that these people are not capable of hatred and thoughts of disgust and actually harming others. Because if you can't feel your emotions, how can you possibly care about the feelings of others? So, with this false self that they've constructed, they fool people who do feel into relationships with them, people who do not feel. And when they have got bored of them, because these people bore very easily, they start to mistreat them. They use the fact that these people have feelings, like myself, like many others, against them. Like I said, they use the person's capacity to love against them. They actually weaponize that against them. If you think about relationships and, this idea of who's got the trousers in the relationship, who's the dominant one or the submissive one, well, truthfully, everyone sort of knows the one who loves the most is on the back foot. But what if it's the one who loves and the one who does not at all? In fact, cannot love. Without the capacity to feel or love, there's no empathy. And as they get bored and resent secretly the fact that they cannot feel or love, a hatred builds up in these people and they take it out on their partner systematically, destroying them from within. This is what's called narcissistic abuse, and I do hope you haven't been through it. Narcissistic abuse is not physical abuse, and it destroys people indiscriminately, male or female. It is emotional, mental, psychological torture, and it can go on for years and even cause brain damage. My name's Charlie. Repost for more. Like and comment please too. Hope that helps. Bye for now.